What's up, internet world?
Bonjour, bonjour.
How's it going today? And welcome to Shootin' the Shit. I'm Dennis.
And I'm Handsome Fred.
And we're joined today with SJB Guitars, the brains and the beauty, or is it the other way around?
I prefer to think brains and beauty and then muscle.
We balance it.
Muscle.
We balance it out.
Yeah.
Right on. So introduce yourselves.
I'm Simon.
And I'm Patricia. Bud.
Simon builds amazing guitars, and I'm proud to say that I'm endorsed by Simon. And they're here today. They came into Athabasca to join us on Shootin' the Shit and have a good time, have a barbecue, and chill out.
Yeah, it's been good so far.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
He took some exact measurements earlier of the guitar, which I did not know this. He just looked, he touched, and then he's like, did the guitar builder thing, and I was like, damn.
Calculatron.
Now he knows. That's the neck.
That's the neck. It's a really nice neck.
It's exactly 22 millimeters at the first fret.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the magic.
0.09.
So if you're on Facebook or whatever, check SJB Guitars. You can see his work. You can see everything. It's fantastic. Amazing stuff. And where are you based out of, if people don't know?
Fort McMurray, believe it or not.
Fort Mac.
Beautiful Fort Mac. I love Fort Mac.
You used to live there, right?
It made me.
Yeah.
I was just a poor boy from a poor family until I moved to Fort McMurray.
There you go.
How's that go again? How's the lyrics go?
A poor boy from a poor family.
Making his way in Fort McMurray.
Pretty much. Going to
as new people would say, Fort McMurray.
Fort Macistan.
Fort Mac. So let's get to know our guests today with our new segment called Shootin' from the Hip.
Sure. Do you want to do the sponsor today? Sponsored by?
Well, it's kind of obvious. Sponsored by Simon Budd.
There you go. Easy peasy.
Right here. We'll put the logo
We'll put the
up.
box.
Put the box. The
Green
box is up
screen
there.
right up here.
Yeah.
I'm going to cut it with my hands.
I'm just going to go into my wallet here and take out a 20,
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on.
Well, absolutely. It's a pleasure to have you guys here.
Thanks, man.
So this new segment is called Shootin' the Hip. So I'll rapid fire 5 questions to you, and you answer as fast as you can.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I
Ready?
hope so.
Let's go. Beatles or Rolling Stones?
Beatles.
Spring or fall? Yeah.
Spring.
Fender or Gibson?
Fender.
Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram.
Deserted island alone or deserted island with your worst enemy?
That'd be making it interesting if you had your enemy with you.
So worst enemy? There you go.
You'd have to get to know each other. And
Interesting. Because I would pick that too because, you make a friend
yeah.
on a deserted island.
Or you
never
can
know.
kill him.
Or you can kill him and have something to eat.
But
Exactly.
You know
It's
what?
a win-win.
You would have competition,
You got
so you would
something to do
survive.
for a while.
That's
at
right.
any
You would
rate.
survive
Yeah.
because you have competition. So
Perfect. Okay, so now I've got 5 questions for you, madame.
All right.
Hopefully, this is all Fort Mac questions. So first question, Fort Mac winters or Voldemort?
Voldemort.
Northern Lights or Summer Nights?
Northern Lights.
The Oil Can or Diggers?
Diggers.
Ooh. Sunshine Bread or Wonder Bread?
Sunshine bread.
Old man that's good with his hands or good with his words?
Oh, dear. Well, I just happen to have an old man who's good with both.
Whoa.
and who's calling old? Right?
And that's shooting at the hip.
That's young with experience. That's what I call that.
Right on. So as we usually do on the show, guests usually go first. So Simon, you have a topic for us today?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this on the drive down, and I was thinking like social media. I mean, that's huge, right?
Yep.
Absolutely.
And I find that I'm trying to wrap my head around social media a lot of times, and how you deal with people. Do you just not deal with them?
In what sense?
Just let them go. Like, how do you like
Are we talking negative people?
yeah, negative people, like even some people that are positive too, they can go a little bit too overboard sometimes. I don't know. It's a tough one.
What do you think?
Well, me
What would you think on
personally, I deleted all my social media from my phone.
Oh, wow.
A year ago. I have to go on my computer and log on like back in the day, like actually, because for me, I had to take a vacation because I thought, to me, it got too much. It was like, you can have a glass of water, but social media is like trying to drink out of the ocean every day.
Yeah,
Yes.
So,
that's a good
That's a
analogy.
good analogy.
So I'm on the camp of less is more when it comes to social media. I try not to do too much of it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like when they say we evolved to know about 100 people in our clan, and that's kind of what we're optimized at. I think that having 1,000 friends on Facebook sounds good until you try to talk to all of them. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
know,
That's pretty much what I'm talking about.
That's all it does. Is it because you don't talk to all of them?
Yeah.
You can't.
It's impossible.
No, you can't have friendships with every single person on your Facebook.
No.
And when you're running a business, it's every comment, every detail.
It adds
Yeah,
up.
you are definitely seen through a microscope.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, so if you make a stupid little comment, sometimes people will take it a little too far.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
like even if it's a joke, some people don't take it as a joke.
Well, also running a business because, you know, I try to sell my books. You sell your guitars.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't know, Patricia's a published author there, so you should check her books out. It was a surprise to me. I found out yesterday. I can't wait to check them out.
What I find is that you cannot be political at all. Like any political statement you make is going to throw you in the trash can, especially in the polarized society we have today.
Oh,
Yeah.
especially in the last 2 years.
Yep.
It's
like
crazy.
one side is going to love you, the other side is going to hate you, or then you, aren't being exact for the side who currently loves you, then you're hated by both sides because you're just not being good enough.
Yeah.
So what do you write?
Oh, well, I have, my first novel was a historical fiction. My second novel was a sort of half and half fiction, sort of memoir-esque of what it's like to teach in Northern Alberta.
Cool.
Hellhounds of High School.
Nice.
And you never know who the hellhounds are. Teachers, students, parents, administrators.
Yeah.
The third novel has a really good premise.
Yes, Hadrian's Lover and Hadrian's Rage is set in the future, and it is in a society in where it is illegal to be straight. And actually came
Interesting.
from a nightmare I had. I dreamt that I was living in a world that it was illegal to be straight, and I was terrified people were going to find out that I was straight. And when I woke up, I was like, oh, thank God, everything's back to normal. And the minute I had that thought,
Yeah.
I was like, shit, my students. I have so many students who come out to me, and these kids, they live that nightmare every day.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know, wow, this is what it's like for them. So that inspired me to write the book.
I
Crazy.
can't wait to check that book out.
You know, it's funny. Like we think it's really polarized, and it's the political scene right now is intense. But back in 1917, we burnt down the parliament when it was made of wood.
Oh wow.
Like
Yeah.
we've had some
Polarized.
times, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
I you know,
Just everybody knows about it.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's-
If that happened now, it would the world would
Oh, they would spin that
instant.
story.
It would be
Oh,
instant, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like everything. You know, we always see what we're going through as the most extreme, the worst of the worst, but that doesn't change, you know, the fact that Hitler, not 100 years ago, and then you go back to
Yeah.
Stalin, and you go back to
Yep.
some of these other.
There's been
Dictators.
horrific
Dictators.
stuff happen
Yeah.
throughout
history.
history, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And they
Never
say,
ends. Yeah.
If you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. And it's like, why do we always doom ourselves?
Yeah,
We
just-
know.
Human nature.
Yeah.
Just imagine if you had social media back then, you know.
Yeah, no doubt.
Hitler would have got it done in half the time.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
would have
We
been
probably wouldn't be here.
Zoom.
Yeah,
It wouldn't be like we'd be Germany,
probably yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
because he would have an advantage all the time, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah, controlling all the propaganda, but it's yeah. So for me, social media, little as possible.
yeah, I'm the
Dennis
same. I'm the
does it
same
for
boat.
the band.
I
Yeah.
do it for the band. I
We
take
do
the,
it for the page for
Yeah.
SJB
Take one for the
Guitars.
team?
take one for the team. That's what I do. Yeah.
Yep.
Edit
get
and
guts
put them
punched all the
on.
time,
and-
right? So-
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, but it's you know, like for people being negative and stuff, you gotta take it with a grain of salt. I mean,
Yeah. There's some
you can't
positives. There's
please
definitely
everybody,
positives.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
Social media definitely has it has positives, like especially like when Fort McMurray with the fire.
mhm.
Without social media, I don't think there would have been
More
there
deaths.
probably would have been people were killed, you know,
Yeah,
because the radio station was using social media to get all the information out. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And
that
people
was the
were
best way.
checking in, letting their families
Yeah.
across the country know they were safe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, and
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's
People-
great in times of mass catastrophic,
yeah. People come
or
together.
if you're the Turkish people or the Egyptians and you want to overthrow your government and you can use it to organize against them. Like it can be used. It's powerful either
It's
way.
a
it's
very
pointed,
powerful
right?
tool.
as
Yeah.
the
It can be
cliche
used
goes,
politically
it's the
and-
double-edged sword.
Yeah.
It's a double-edged sword, definitely.
Yep.
That'd be a
the
cool name
coin.
for an album.
Double-edged sword.
Yeah.
That would-
Trademark H.
Type it in and make sure nobody's got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Done.
Oh no, Wham did it.
All right, so
Nothing
that's
new
social
under the
media.
sun.
Right on. So moving on to Patricia.
Well,
What is
let's-
your topic today for topic number 2?
Let's see if you guys can guess it. I'm going to talk about it, but I'm not going to say what
gonna
it
say
is.
The importance.
It's very
the
dirty.
import-
Oh, oh.
the importance of
Very dirty.
Oh,
Very
Taking it
dusty.
left
Yeah, very dusty.
Is it Fred's Road out there?
No,
Oh,
but
okay.
but
Yeah,
it,
that was
it
dusty
is
from there.
reminiscent of that road. You know, there are times. It has an impact on my allergies, but I've learned to live with it.
Okay.
People have called me a saint. My God, your wife must be a saint. And I'm like, it's too bad I don't believe in saints, but
She's no.
I'm not a saint. I'm no saint. No. And every single room in the house, with the exception of, the room we rent out and the bathrooms, are littered with this particular series of items.
You got me stumbled.
You got, is this a riddle?
Is this
Is
a
a
riddle?
or
This
a
is
topic?
indeed a
gonna
riddle.
say
This
we-
is the
This is
topic.
supposed to be a topic.
It
not
is a
riddle.
topic. It's a topic that is not, it's very oriented to you and me. It's life with a luthier, what it's like.
Wood?
Sawdust.
Wood
Sawdust?
chips.
Sawdust.
Sawdust. Well, I
Wood
said
chips.
dusty.
Yeah, I get
See,
it.
I was being a
Yes.
little too enigmatic.
She's coming out. She's saying she's allergic to wood chips.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I feel bad
All
now.
these years, Simon.
All these years, she's saying it's okay. It's all
It's
good.
okay,
She's
dear. I
got
love
a
it,
room.
dear. No,
I don't care if you're covered in dust every day. No.
Well, when I go to hug him, sometimes he's like, I'm just totally covered in dust.
Yeah.
He knows my allergies, so he won't let me hug him.
Also known as man sprinkles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man sparkles.
Man sparkles,
Mine's-
yeah.
I was gonna
Man
say
glitter.
I was gonna say man
That's the one,
spray,
yeah.
but no, that's not
Man
man
spray.
spray. No, but
But if you
It's-
walk
it's
into our
man.
living room, you will see no less than
talcum powder.
6 or 8 or 10 guitars.
oh
We
yeah,
even
yeah.
have a guitar on a special little, what is that that's on the wall? I gave it to
the
you.
guitar
Christmas.
hanger. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we've
on
got
the
a
wall.
guitar hanger in our living room, and he'll take pictures of the guitars that he's selling on that guitar hanger. You know, the kitchen. Well, there was one point in time when the kitchen was completely littered with guitars.
In the
There's-
fridge. Oh.
Oh, look at that, another
Oh,
guitar.
yeah. Okay, that's where those pickups went. Yeah.
Behind the lettuce.
So there's like my little office cubby hole. And there's the bathroom, and there's the room we rent. But every other room in the house has a guitar in it. But that's
what you
okay.
married.
That's what I married.
What did
Yeah.
you say? Did you have gas?
Yes, gas, guitar
She
acquiring
pulled one a good one
singer.
on me there
It
earlier.
was
Says, "Do
funny.
you have gas?" And
I
was
used to
like,
have
"What?
gas,
Do I
yeah.
do I smell?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "No, you have guitar acquiring syndrome."
Oh, yeah.
Gear or guitar.
Yeah,
acquiring
gear or
syndrome,
guitar,
right?
it works.
So-
Well, he just finished saying he had
Yeah.
way too many guitars, and I just assumed that this was. You didn't make that up, did you?
No.
Gas?
No,
I just
no, that's
assumed
a-
it was a
that's a-
common
We-
term.
I
Well,
have
that's
gas.
fantastic. I'd
Look
never heard it
around here,
before,
it's-
but now
No,
I'm
you
gonna
serious?
definitely. Yeah, I don't know.
You think you would?
No.
being a
I live in
guitar player.
denial.
He only has 20. Yeah, only 27 guitars. I mean,
Well,
what do you do?
Oh, no.
Simon
know you
couldn't
lived in
afford to
Africa.
have gas,
Yeah.
so he
Yeah.
became a luthier.
Yeah.
What's that?
I
Sorry?
said you couldn't afford to have gas, so you became a luthier.
Well, yeah, because I wanted to own some really expensive guitars, so I built them.
There
I
you
started
go.
building them. So
Made them
Yeah.
better.
Yeah,
I built them
that's
the way
about
I
it.
wanted to. So, yeah.
Look at this thing right here, right in front. It's beautiful.
So
It
I
is-
chose
yeah,
my
it's
topic.
it's a really nice guitar.
I chose my topic because I'm extremely proud of my husband.
Well, she's very, very supportive. There's no doubt. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better. I mean,
So is
You
it
know.
a good thing or a bad thing? Because you're walking around the house, you're tripping on sawdust. There's guitar,
no,
there's
it's not that bad.
strings. There's.
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
It's not.
Have you
that
ever
bad.
tripped on a guitar?
Yes, she has.
So it's a health
Don't tell
hazard
Simon.
also.
Yeah,
You have safety meetings in the morning?
yeah.
It's-
Because
it's-
the way I have my guitars set out right now,
Yeah, you got to be very
it's
careful.
not. It's not like that all the time, but
Like I'll come into the living room,
but I'm testing.
and I'll
them
want
out,
to
right?
sit down
Yeah,
in one of
absolutely.
the chairs, right? But I can't because there'll be a guitar there, and Simon will be, "I'll get it for you." He's terrified. I'm going to touch one of his guitars and break it, and he doesn't realize that there's so many guitars everywhere that I touch his guitars every day
Yeah,
So
it's all
behind
good.
his back,
It's all
of
good.
course.
It's all good.
we have something similar happening right now at my house where my better half is getting into pottery.
Oh,
and we're
yes.
getting that like little clay chunks, and like you go into a room and it's like pots and clay
Bowl.
and plastic
Vase.
and bowls, and then there's my guitars, and then
Yeah.
the stuff I find at the dump, and the kids' laundry, and 300 plants and 3 dogs, and it's yes.
Wow, that's not here though.
I don't know if we have gas, but we
Pass.
definitely have a
Pottery.
full house.
Pottery. Yeah.
Between the pottery, the plants,
PBS,
the dogs.
pottery building syndrome.
Yeah,
PBS.
it's insane.
Send your donations now
Yeah.
to PBS. Yeah.
Yeah, now she's looking at buying a kiln.
Oh,
So it's like, oh no,
wow.
it's escalating quickly.
Yes, it
And I
is.
think that'll be is she gonna killing you? Or?
Well, when
She's
you
gonna
no
be
longer,
killing me.
yeah.
That's
when
for
you know it's a problem when you no longer have a dining room table.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's living with an artist though.
Well, that's it.
Living
That's
with
it.
a luthier.
We're like
Well,
we're the same. Like your spot where you're doing your writing there's papers everywhere sometimes.
Yes.
And you write on napkins and
Do you handwrite or you typewrite?
I
you do
both.
Yeah.
If I'm in a restaurant, I'll grab a napkin.
Yep.
If or I've got my phone and I'll dictate into my phone, or I'll type with my finger, or
Yeah.
I got my computer. So
Is it a different? Because I've read somewhere that it's a different thought process
Yeah.
to like handwrite every word, and you're going to like a
Yeah, you're probably thinking more about it as you're writing it. you know.
it is different. It's the way in which the mind thinks in a certain way. So when I was a little girl, this was the only way we wrote, right? Cursory, writing on paper. And the first thing they told me as a teacher, be careful, because when you start writing on the whiteboard or on the chalkboard, you're going to make a lot of spelling and grammar mistakes because your brain thinks this way. Sorry, I hope that didn't sound horrible. Your brain thinks writing this way, and then your brain has to learn to write this way, and then your brain has to learn to write this way. Now, I prefer typing because my fingers move faster and my brain is flying, and I'm writing, and I can't write fast enough to get all the ideas down. And my first focus is to get as many ideas down as fast as possible. And I'll write up to 50 or more pages before I'll stop and actually look at it and figure out what is right and what is wrong. And
so
then
the brain is faster than the.
In the
yeah.
fingers.
and so then I'll print it out, and I'll sit down and I'll read it, and I'll cross things out, and I'll handwrite stuff in. And that's my sort of revision process, where the hand moves slower, and I can think while I'm working through that process. And then I decide if I actually have something that can be developed. And that's actually the case with every book I've written. I've always started in the middle without realizing it.
Yeah.
And then I've gone, okay, well, what
Then
comes
you work
before?
forward and backwards.
And backwards,
That's interesting.
No, we did.
Sometimes I do that too. Like I'll start with a chorus in the song.
And she
and
did
work backwards.
she also wrote a play called, was it Backwards and Forwards?
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's her. in a
I
nutshell.
yeah. Full circle 360 there.
Yeah.
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 So, guitars everywhere, sawdust, pages everywhere. What about you guys? Do you guys live with somebody who has a lot of stuff? Maybe a lot of video games, a lot of guitars, a lot of hockey cards. I don't know. You let us know in the comments below.
Drug dealers.
Drug dealers, a lot
Yeah,
of
a lot
drugs,
of- A lot of crack
a
pipes
lot
all
of
over the
Peggies,
place.
saran wrap, tinfoil.
Is there crack pipes at your house?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Maybe
Yeah.
call this number.
Yeah.
Get a help
Yeah,
line.
helpline. Yeah.
All right, moving on. Topic 3. Fred, what do you got for us today?
Well, what I want to talk about, you're self-employed.
Yeah.
You guys are both self-employed now, I guess, right?
No.
Well, I
no,
work as a
she works.
teacher.
Okay.
But, I mean, when I was selling my books, I was self-employed in that respect.
Yeah.
I think it probably still works for everybody. What I want to know is because to pursue what you really want, you have to say no to things to be
yeah.
able to say yes to
Absolutely,
the things you
yeah.
actually want.
Yeah.
So I want to know, what did you have to say no to be able to say yes to something else that you wanted more?
Like,
Mm.
So what did you walk away from? Maybe you quit a job. Maybe you had to.
Well, I could see. I have something on top of my head right away.
Yeah.
I walked away from from a really good job back home to move here for the year. So that's just my 2 cents, right? So.
and that's admirable, you know, to do that, because it takes a lot of guts to do that, you know, because you're going from something that's completely safe and
Yeah, coming to
and
here
s-
and
secure, and you're content in it, but then you want to do something, you want to challenge yourself more.
it's funny we were having this
I think
conversation earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's about challenging yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
But also to pursue your true,
Passion.
happiness or fulfillment.
There are
'cause-
things you have to give up.
Yeah. So can you do you have one on top of your head? Like what did you do
Probably
before?
Actually, probably one of the biggest things for me, like, is like, especially building guitars. You're alone a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You spend a lot of time alone, and I think that's probably been one of the hardest things, believe it or not, because you want to get out and meet people and stuff like that, but when you're so busy building all the time, like, you're always alone, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's probably been one of the hardest things, because before that I was going out being more social. I'm not a shut-in or anything like that. I'm not.
No.
I'm not. I don't keep. Like, I love being around people too, right? But it is. That's one of the trickiest parts, is being by yourself.
So
Because you
that
do-
was harder than giving up the security of knowing your paycheck's going to be there, or
Well, ever since we've been together, I've been like self-employed. So
okay.
yeah, and she's been 100% supportive. So I used to teach guitar for years and years. So
I'm the sugar mama.
Well,
she is,
right on.
and it works. So,
Yeah.
but I do make my money, right?
Yeah.
But
Yep.
it's not as secure as like Patricia working.
Yeah, because you said you were an electrician before. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did a lot of electrical work before,
Yeah.
but it's like, sometimes you just got to do it. Like, sometimes I don't think about what I want to do. I
Yeah.
just, because it gets me into trouble. If I think about it too much, I
Yeah.
got to do it. I have to do it. There's something inside me that has to do it, right? Like, recording some CDs, I had to do it. It was
Yep.
just something driving me that I had to do it.
Yeah, we
it's the
feel
same
that
with
drive.
guitars.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure. Yeah.
It's all
That's an
it's a
artist
lot of
thing, right?
passion.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of passion to do something, and it takes a lot of guts to do things sometimes,
Yep.
because you're not going to feel, especially build it, like for me, I don't know what it's like for you, but building guitars is a totally different how people treat you, or how people see you.
Yeah.
Because they think like, man, this guy must be a magician or something. You're just creating stuff out of magic.
He's
Like,
not.
yeah, because guitars grow on trees, right? So
Yeah. Well,
They're
yeah.
literally trees.
they literally go on trees. But like for you, like what is it?
Well, I
Because you
walked
probably
away
spend
from
time alone, so.
I walked
and
away
stuff,
from
so.
being a crane operator to start a company, and
Oh wow.
I went from steady, good, crazy money to no money to having to ask my mom for money for Christmas because
Oh wow.
my Bobcat payments due, my truck payments due, and I work alone all the time. Snow
Yeah.
removal is lonely. It's I don't have employees anymore, so
Right.
there's
changed over just because of COVID, or
no. I
just-
started
just-
when my daughter was born. I was like, I want to be in control of my life. I don't
Yeah.
want to, at some point when you say I can do it better, at some point you say I'm either full of shit or I'm gonna find out,
Yeah.
right?
That's right.
So
Yeah. If you're fake, you're gonna
Yep.
find out really quick.
it was hard. It was the first couple of years, but now it's been 13 years, and now past 3 years, we've been getting back into music, and this shop. Normally, would have a machine in here. I'd be doing maintenance. I'd be working. But now I'm like, okay, we're doing the music, so
Which is
I
awesome.
have to say no to work. I have to say, I'm not taking on these projects because we want to pursue this thing that could outlive us, and maybe lead to something. But you've made music, books, the
Yeah.
same thing. It's extremely difficult to earn a living that way. So
Oh, very much.
It's
so.
not doing it just for the money either.
No.
No, it's just some kind of drive in you.
Yeah.
You've got to do it. It's
Yeah.
just, if you don't, you're going to be unhappy.
Yeah.
And I've
And you always find a way to do it. You
Yeah.
always make a way of doing it, right? So,
yeah, I've always played, but to say like playing in bars with Saunders and Max, and
yeah.
to recording albums and like sitting down for hours and just being okay, this is the part. Get me a track. I'll practice the drums for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. I'll
Right.
carve it. Try to carve your style just to play good enough to record yourself to where you're not crying after like, oh my god.
So why? The question is, why do you want to do that? Why do you need to do it?
I don't know.
Exactly.
That's.
It's
I
the
think
there.
we're all
use.
born to be creative,
That's
right?
it.
We're all born to be creative,
Yeah.
but life gets in the way, right?
We can
And
let life get in the way.
Yeah, you let life get in the way. That's
But
the
it's
thing,
a
yeah.
pursuit.
some
It's
people
a
may
passion.
not even know
it's
what being broke is actually like.
yeah.
Like
I've
being
been broke.
really broke.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then you start to really, I think you really are very grateful even for the little bit of money coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you don't take it for granted. So that's, you know, but giving up anything, it's like, that's probably my biggest thing is like just being alone.
Yeah.
You know, and not having a lot of time doing other things like playing music, you know, because I used to play a lot too.
So to bring it back, you're alone in that case where you're working on a guitar,
Yeah.
and you post on social media.
Yeah.
Does that help you a little bit to know that at least people can see you in your space doing your thing?
Yeah, sometimes it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've learned to tame it down now.
Yeah.
You know, I've learned quite a bit about social media. So it's just, you got, like, if you do too much, you don't reach as many people.
Yeah.
But if you just kind of pace it,
Yeah.
you reach a lot more people that way.
Because I like it. I see your post, and it's like, it kind of, you know, we never met before, but it's, you know, I have your guitar. I can feel your work and the instrument, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, there's somebody else that's gonna get
And
an
you-
instrument
and
that's
there's some
handmade.
special sauce in there too. So
Yeah. There's some of that man
It's in the
glitter,
stain.
You know,
it's in
and
the stain. That's why it's so good. And
Oh, dear God.
I'm sorry. I just had to. You got to do it.
You got to do what the wood needs to
Yeah.
be done with. I mean,
So have you guys ever sacrificed anything to get what you really want? You let us know in the comments below.
And hopefully it wasn't murder.
yeah.
Yeah.
This Jesus is like, guys, sacrifice.
Sacrifice. What about me,
I
man?
really sacrificed everything for you guys. And
Yeah.
And it's hard. But that's, you know, the being an entrepreneur is you put it
there's
all to
always
the side.
sacrifice.
And
Yeah.
you walk away from a good job, and you say, you jump in with 2 feet, and you say, if this
Yeah.
doesn't work, the plan B is
Start something else.
Yeah, you
Start
have to
something
make
else.
sacrifices. Like,
Yep.
there's no doubt.
So we've come full circle.
we've come full circle. Now we're back into social media.
Yeah. And now it's
Sorry.
topic 4.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Right here.
Dennis.
Oh, I thought it was topic 4. I thought I bought a 3/4 circle.
He's just a guitar player, so it doesn't really matter.
No,
right?
it
No.
doesn't matter.
No.
I'm only the lead fucking singer. All right, so
Okay,
I went to Fort Mac the other time. I went to play Patty McSwiggins.
Yeah,
It was fantastic. You guys all have experience with Fort Mac.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was my first time there. Really beautiful town. Really enjoyed it. Love the people. But you guys living in Fort Mac, can you guys explain the pros and cons of like living in a town that's dependent on oil production?
I can go first.
Yeah, you go. Yeah.
I moved during a boom, 2008. It was awesome, but every town depends on something, whether it's oil, potash, agriculture, tourism. But being there during a boom, I mean, I went from making $4 or $5 an hour to $18 an hour to wash dishes.
Wow.
I could not believe it. I was like, you're gonna pay me $18 an hour to wash dish. I was like, are you sure? Like, and they're like, oh yeah, when can you start? I was like, I'm here.
Yesterday.
Yeah. So they
Now,
put me
right
right,
now.
and
I
then
need the money, yeah.
they pay me time and a half, and I'm like, time and a
Wow.
my mom made time and a half because she was a nurse. Like I worked
This is at Montana's?
at Montana's in
Yeah.
Fort
Yeah.
McMurray.
Yeah.
And I mean, for Fort Mac to me was the best place on earth. The music, all the people from the East Coast, the great. I met so many amazing people up there.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
great. That's great.
So were you there in a dip after the boom?
I was there after the boom. We bought our house. Yeah,
So you bought when it was low?
I bought when it was low, and yeah, I bought at a bad time, but for me, it was still a good time.
Yeah.
We did the same. We bought just before the boom happened, so
We
Yeah.
were lucky.
we were
Yeah.
lucky too.
And
so.
the
Is
person
there-
who sold
Does
to us
like
wasn't.
crime go up and stuff during the boom? Or do you
People are so busy working.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to
like
say.
there's more people, it influxes, right?
It-
The population in Fort
There
Mac? no?
was the case of my 2 students who were murdered.
Yeah.
They were stabbed. They were twin brothers, and that happened right smack in the middle of the boom. And there was like this sort of
Is that
drug war
2008, 2010?
somewhere in.
I was
the
there
early-
when that happened. Yeah.
and those
Yeah.
were such
But
such
that's-
good boys. And
They were
well,
twins,
they
weren't
were
they
in
twins?
trouble, but
Yeah, they were twins.
yeah, I mean, they were
remember those
no
guys.
different than your typical teenage boys who get into trouble, but unfortunately, their trouble led them to. So I don't know. For me, it felt more dangerous because of what happened to the 2 boys that I taught one of them. So that's why it felt more dangerous for me, because I actually knew somebody who died a violent death. But I don't think that was common. But
But was it from someone who wasn't from Fort Mac who committed the crime?
Yeah, it was a bit of a drug war
Somali
going on.
drug gangs.
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah, there's a lot of money, but to me what I experienced in Fort Mac there was a lot of young drunken men crime.
Yeah.
People fighting after the bar.
Yeah.
But as far as criminal gangs roaming the streets at night, I
No.
didn't. I was,
Yeah.
I'd get out of Montana's every night at 1:00, and I'd bike all the way back to my trailer and
Yeah.
Wow.
But
You
I'd
bike all the way
say-
up to Gregoire.
every
Yeah.
day back
Oh,
and forth.
man.
But it's such a busy town.
awesome.
People are so busy working that, for a city that buzzes as much as it does.
Drugs have always been an issue up there, though.
Yeah.
And that the first thing when I first moved up there, my buddies, warned me that drugs are a big thing up here, and that's
But it's the same back home.
But it's the same everywhere.
Yeah.
I just that people have more money in Fort Mac. They got more money, they can spend more money.
I think some people probably come to Fort McMurray with might be a bit disillusioned, right? That they think that I've heard this from some people too. Like there are some people that come and think they're owed everything.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I haven't experienced that
Yeah.
too much.
Well, they come to expect to make a lot of money, and if you come in a, bust time, you're not going to be making the money that you make when you're in the boom.
Yeah.
And it's a bust and boom town, and
It
that's
is,
just
yeah.
the reality. It's based on oil. We have booms and we have busts.
So
and
do
we-
the wages fluctuate with the boom and bust?
The overtime, it's the
It's the
perks.
overtime
There's
that-
always it's always good, but it goes from good to amazing.
Yes.
From compared to out east, like it's not even.
So
I
you can
do
make a
re-
lot of money in a short period of time.
Yeah.
I did.
And then just get out.
Yeah.
Right? So that's how
and a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
And that's in one way, that's one of the cons of being a permanent resident. Like I've been there since 91. Simon's been there since 78. So we are Fort McMurray citizens. And then you'll get people who come and go, and you'll get people who come for a short period of time, trash the city, and oh, this place sucks, blah, 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 and leave.
Take the money and leave. Yeah.
Take their money and leave. And it's like, yeah, well, you just walked away with a pocket full of cash, dude.
Yeah.
So
You
maybe
hear
say
that in
something
lineup-
nice.
You hear that in lineups all the used to anyway. I don't hear
Yeah.
it anymore. But
Yeah. So I speak from an Ontario point of view. So when when you spend a lot of time in Fort Mac, like, does it smell? Do you smell like that stuff or what?
Not
No.
every
Boot train?
day.
No,
No.
It's-
not every day, but you do.
It's
Rare.
definitely got better
Yeah.
over the years. Like I think the
process is better.
the
Yeah.
process is
They've
way
been
cleaner.
Why
working-
was it ranked before?
There were
You
days.
used to get- yeah.
There were days if the wind was blowing south, you would get a rank odor.
Especially if it rained, yeah.
What people don't realize about Fort McMurray and the plants up there is that these guys have a safety loss and management plan that deals with not just, the equipment, the lives of the men and women who work for them, and the environment. They take the environment seriously.
Oh, yeah.
And they put a lot of time and effort in reclamation and working on the process of how they pull this stuff out and how they refine it, et cetera, et cetera. So when people trash Fort McMurray as like the pollution capital of the planet, I kind of want to slap them and say, okay, what about BP and the Gulf Coast? And
Absolutely.
did they take any time to clean that up?
Yeah.
Are they still fighting with them to clean it up? Because in Fort McMurray, they take the time to clean things up.
Well, not just that. I mean, during the fire evacuation, the plants just stepped up the plate.
Oh yeah.
They were
And,
amazing.
If
Opened
it wasn't
up the
for the
camps
plants
and-
stepping up, like there would have been
A lot
more
of people,
tragedy.
a
Like,
lot
there
of
would have been
people
tragedy, you know.
stranded. Like
Yeah.
they opened up their camps,
Yep.
and then when they
They
had to
flew us
close down the
out
camps,
and-
they flew people out. I mean,
on their dime.
yeah,
That must have been. Were you guys affected by that?
Oh yeah,
oh yeah,
So did you guys have to evacuate?
yeah.
Yeah. Was your house damaged? No.
No,
no,
not at all.
just some smoke damage
In the
that took out a
downtown core, right?
refrigerator.
You guys
No,
are
we live in Tickwood.
in
Yeah,
Tickwood. Oh, okay.
Yeah, by Westwood
Yeah.
School, and
Yeah.
it was we didn't get much at all.
Yeah.
Not even hardly anything.
Yeah,
So not even too
just
much
enough smoke damage to destroy a refrigerator. That was it.
And how'd you guys get out?
We drove.
You drove?
We drove
drove
to. We drove
north,
north,
Went to
and then
Fort
we flew
Mackay.
out. We flew out.
You flew out?
CNRL flew us out.
Yeah.
You went north. Very
Yeah.
smart. Instead of
Instead of south.
Well, we
It-
couldn't go south. They
Yeah.
wouldn't let
it-
us. So at
certain
that
times
time.
of the day
because there was there was too
go
much
south,
fire.
You can only go south. You can
Yeah.
only go north. No, you can't go north anymore. You can only go south. It just depended on the winds and the
Yeah.
way the
Yeah.
fire was. And at our time of day when we were leaving, the RCMP were turning everybody north.
Yeah, it was probably the best decision. Yeah.
Do you personally know anyone who lost it all?
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
I know a few
Sadly.
people. Yeah.
That's
They lost everything. Yeah.
They lost their homes, their pets that were in crates. In
Fred
the
was showing me
house.
some neighborhoods that got burnt when we were there, and the
It's
houses are
pretty-
beautiful now.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
all brand new houses.
It's crazy. It's
Yeah.
surreal.
But
Oh,
there's been obviously a lot of problems building too, right? So insurance, dealing with insurance, I have sympathy for everyone that's had to deal with insurance like that
Yeah.
on that scale.
Yeah,
Oh, I wouldn't be able to do it.
not be fun.
You know,
For those who had insurance. 'Cause
Yeah,
there
for
was a lot
those
of
who
people that
had.
didn't.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
They lost everything. I mean, literally everything.
Yeah.
What was your question?
Sorry about Fort McMurray and
Oh, the pros and
you
the
know, the
cons.
We need some cons. We too many pros. I mean, whoa, get off.
No, but that's the thing. That,
con-
like
one of
I
the
was
big-
saying, like, so I went there when we went there for the first time. I was expecting like a dirty place, rough place,
no, it's clean.
and I
up.
got there and it was super clean, super nice. Everything was like super well maintained. I was like, wow, this is awesome.
Well,
When
I've
I
been
was-
there
Like,
since
why does Fort
91.
Mac have such a bad name?
Because it is an oil town.
Yeah, I
and
know,
We
like-
perceive oil
As dirty.
As dirty.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's fossil fuel, but the reality, and I am an eco warrior, so for me to defend Fort McMurray may sound weird, but we can't function without fossil fuel. We have too many people on the planet.
Yeah.
It's not fossil fuel that is the ultimate evil. It's population. We need energy. The more people, the more energy that's needed. And yes, we should diversify. And yes, we should look at other types, of energy. But
Yeah,
that doesn't make the companies in Fort McMurray demons,
No, I know.
especially with the amount of time and effort they put in safety, loss, and management, and not just for the
Exactly.
equipment and the people, but for
I
the
think
environment.
the reason why Fort Mac gets hate is the same reason why Nickelback gets hate. 'Cause they're fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But when you're awesome, there's people that are not gonna like it.
Yeah.
Like to me, I've the worst part of Fort Mac is just the winter. The
And-
brutal
And it can-
brutal cold.
And it can feel isolated, like especially in the winter.
Yeah.
Like because it's like 2 hours before there's anything, right?
Yeah.
Driving.
Well,
so.
But
Ever-
I was lucky. I played in bands and we went out and I played every weekend, so I never felt isolated.
Yeah,
But the cold, apart from that, man,
it's cool. It's
One
cold
road
like that
in,
here
one
in
road out.
Athabasca, right?
Yeah,
We
first
get
day I was
cold-
here, it was
you
minus
get cold like
45.
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
it's a little.
If you're
Yeah,
going to
not
give
much.
a con to Fort McMurray, it would be the fact that there's one road in, one road
Yeah.
out, and that you're basically the end of the line. Now, we're not the end of the line. There's still Fort McKay and there's still Fort Chip. But you go up the other side of the province. Was it Grand Prairie?
Yeah, there's a lot more routes.
There's
and stuff, yeah.
Grand Prairie will then go up to the Yukon.
Yeah.
Peace River.
And
then Alaska,
whereas Fort
you can go,
McMurray,
yeah.
people will just stop at Fort McMurray and then you turn around and go back south. So it's not like you can take a loop,
But I thought they talked about building a road up north to connect to Grand Prairie.
They've
That's been talked about, eh?
That's been talked
they've-
about for years and years.
Yeah.
So
It's
But
gonna
we
happen.
I mean,
still-
look how long it took to twin the highway in Fort
Yeah.
McMurray.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
so-
another con. It took, but that's not Fort McMurray.
No.
That was just how long it took to twin the highways.
Because the north, if what they're saying is true, if the planet is gonna warm and warm and warm and warm, at some point, the more northern we are, the more habitable it's gonna get.
Yep.
Like it's gonna develop. Society is gonna move
Yeah.
northwards.
Yes.
Well, it definitely has warmed up.
That's another
there's no
premise
doubt.
of Hadrian's Lover is the fact that the planet is heating up, and so everybody's moving northbound.
Yeah.
So can people find your stuff online?
Yes, Amazon.
Amazon and your full name and the book.
Yep. If you type in my name, Patricia Marie Budd, or you can type in the titles.
Okay. You send me a link and I'll put it in the description below.
Oh, there you
Wonderful.
go.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Below.
And I want to thank you guys for coming on the show
Hey,
today.
Thanks for having us. It's
Simon
been
and
awesome.
Patricia has
Lovely.
been
Thank
amazing.
you.
Yeah.
And Fred, thanks for coming out as always. He's always here. We're always here.
Thanks for
Fred
setting
is Fred, right?
everything up,
Yeah.
Fred.
Yeah.
No,
I've been
Fred,
watching
no
the shows
show.
and it's been great. I've been watching them. It's been awesome. We shoot the shit.
Yeah, these are good shows.
Yeah.
Right. And on that note, we'll see you next week.
Peace.
Ciao.